Hello,
right.
everyone.
Hi.
We're back with another interview in our AAPI Heritage Month interview series. And I think, as we've said before, even though the name of the series is AAPI, it definitely extends to, just all Asian creators and members of the comic book community. So we're here today with Eileen Widjaja, an amazing artist who I feel like she's just been on the rise in recent years, like putting out amazing stuff on Twitter and social media, and especially recently working on the Monster High series as well, doing some covers, and then recently the Bermuda Triangle series as well. So yeah, we're really excited to talk to you today just about, your journey and experiences as a comic book artist and writer as well. I know you're interested in that too. And yeah, do you want to start by just giving us like just, like a quick intro of yourself and what you do?
Sure. Hi everyone. My name is Eileen Widjaja. I am an artist who has been working for around like 4 years. My most notable work so far has been Monster High, House Hunters, and Bermuda Triangle. And it's nice to meet you all today.
Yeah, so you said you've been like working for uh yeah, this is an interview, but it's like it's not a very like formal interview, I would say. It's a friendly chat, between creatives and friends. But yeah, so what got you into like the comic book industry, I guess? Like, is this something that you've just like always been a fan of since you were very young, or did you like come into the community later on?
I have been a big fan of comics since I was young. Like I grew up with Batman and Donald Duck comics, but
Okay,
I
that's quite
didn't.
quite the duo.
Yeah, that's quite the duo. But I didn't really start taking it seriously until I was like, when was it? I think I was supposed to graduate high school and go into university, right? And there was this one university that I was like interested in because they had the sequential art major, and that was the first time I found out that this was actually a thing. Like I didn't know it was a thing before, but because of a couple of reasons, I didn't manage to get in there. But I was petty, so I decided like even if I couldn't get in, I'm gonna make my way into it somehow. And at that time, I uh, got kind of back into like the DC fandom and stuff, and it kind of just went up from there. Like I drew fan arts for the fandom, and I opened commissions, I think, and from there I started venturing out into like not just making illustration work but also trying to make fan comics and stuff like that, and that's how it all started.
Yeah, so, but I mean, before you started like kind of moving into the comic book space, like, were you kind of like set on pursuing art in some capacity before then, or was it kind of like with comics that you like moved more in the art direction?
uh Before that, I definitely always thought I'd move into art, or at the very least like just the creative industry in general. But yeah, it wasn't before I gained some traction online that I decided to really like focus on comics specifically. Like if comics didn't work out, I think I would have probably become like a graphic designer.
Good to have a backup plan.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, what was the process of gaining traction like, I guess? Like, was that something that kind of like grew steadily as you posted more, fan art and stuff like that? Or was there like, I feel like sometimes there's like one post that like unexpectedly goes viral, and then like rockets some people up. Did you have like one or two like pieces that kind of like did that for you, or was it kind of more of a slow growth?
it was definitely more slow and steady. Um, like the followers just kind of slowly trickled in, and the interest built up from there. it actually frustrated me a couple of times because I saw like other artists, like you said, they had like one or two pieces that there was like a big boom and really like boosted their popularity. And at that time, it never happened to me. I don't think it ever happened even until now. So it definitely frustrated me a couple of times, but I'm grateful for where I am. Yeah, it was definitely slow and steady kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like the algorithm for all these social medias, we're like so like dependent on them to be seen, but they're also like so mysterious and unreliable and all that. Like nobody really knows like what's gonna blow up or what's not, and we're just trying to like stumble our way forward in the dark.
Exactly.
So did like you said you were always into those like comic book characters even from when you were young. Did you have like a lot of access to comics, or like just like how like because like sometimes it's like kind of niche to like find out that comics are even like a hobby that you can get into, like in the US as well, like now that comics are like more relegated to like those like special like local comic book shops. It's like a little bit harder even for like kids to randomly stumble upon them sometimes. So like did you feel like comics were like pretty like like accessible, or did you have to like go out of your way a little bit to engage with them?
It's definitely not accessible at all where I'm at. It's actually like a point of discourse a lot of the times. When I was younger, the reason why I was so into Donald Duck comics was because I feel like that was the only kind of comics that was very accessible at that time. Like they printed it in one of those magazines, and it was already like translated into Indonesian and everything. You can buy it in like newspaper stalls near your house, wherever you are. That was the most accessible thing we had. And for stuff like superhero comics and stuff, I never saw it in bookstores or anything like that. Like, I'm not even sure how my family got their hands on a few copies, but they did, and that's how I got into it. But it definitely wasn't in bookstores or anything. And even now, uh, it's really hard to find comics at all. There are only like a handful of bookstores that houses like international foreign books that sells comics. And if you're not like if you don't live in a place with those kind of bookstores, you'd have to get them online, and the prices are like really really high. Like you really have to go out of your way to be able to buy them and order them, and the pre-order period is like super long and everything. Yeah, definitely not accessible.
Yeah, I imagine I mean the shipping costs and everything must be
Mm.
astronomical. Um I mean I remember like I was trying to ship you like some copies of Memories of Spring when we did that, and that was a whole like misadventure with the postal service.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I hate the local post. Every single time these days, whenever a collaborator or a publisher has to send me like a comp, I always tell them like, please give me the tracking number, because if you don't give me the tracking number, it's likely gonna get returned to you because I'm not gonna get it in my doorstep.
Yeah,
It's like
I
a
think
really hard process.
I think that is that is what happened with Memories of Spring, right? Like it like
Yeah.
traveled like all across the world and back. But yeah, I mean what NammaN is showing on screen right now. This is the cover of Memories of Spring, an anthology comic I did on Kickstarter last year. And Eileen did the not only one of the stories inside, but she did the main cover for it, and I think this was absolutely amazing. Um,
Thank
because
you.
and I think it was your idea too to go for like kind of like a traditional like painting aesthetic for the cover. And first of all, that was such a good idea. And when the first time I saw this, I like I think I said this to you too, or I should have, but like I thought like this is something that you should just see like in like a history museum, like not like not just a comic book cover. And so, yeah, I mean, I still have copies lying around everywhere. Every time I see it, it still brings me joy. So really glad we got to work together on this.
I'm I'm really happy with this project. It's definitely one of like my favorite covers I've ever done.
Yeah, and it's I mean it's just incredible.
So, oh, I'm
Um,
sorry. Did I hear you guys all right? Aline, you are calling from where?
I'm
I'm
in.
hmm?
Oh, you talking to Eileen?
Uh-huh.
I'm calling from Indonesia.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So how's the timing work out? Is it working okay?
Yeah, it's working okay. It's morning where I'm at, so it works
Oh,
out for
okay,
me.
okay, okay, okay. Okay. We are
Yeah,
all
we tried to schedule this, at a time that would be like reasonable time for everyone involved.
cool.
Um,
And
so
I love this cover, by the way, guys. I mean, I love the traditional Chinese. Did you do one where they were eating the buns?
oh, that
Uh,
that was that was that was that was Haining. She did that
okay.
one
Anyway, I love this particular. And who did the animation?
for the
When you're doing intro, I think you
the
use this particular screen too, by the way, as a
the the
background.
the trailer for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh, that was someone else. That was one of my other friends. He helped me put the trailer
yeah,
together.
yeah. And I just love the leaves falling and stuff. And it was very beautifully done. Good
Thank
job,
you.
guys.
Yeah. So, Eileen, I wanted to ask you like what the like what your experience with like kind of like engaging with like the Western comic book like industry and community has been from Indonesia, because I think like one of the biggest like the things that like recommended for like aspiring comic creators to do is to go to those big conventions like San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, and obviously like your ability to do so from Indonesia is much more limited. So like, do you feel like that is like something that is like a pretty big like hurdle or challenge, and like what like have you been able to do to kind of like offset or compensate for that?
It definitely kind of bums me out a bit that I can't be present during like offline conventions and stuff like that. Um, I wouldn't say it's like a big hindrance to me because I don't have anything to compare it to, right? Like, unless I've been there before and I know how it works out, like, I don't think I can compare and say it's a big hurdle, but I'm definitely jealous. It's definitely one of my wish lists to be able to like go to San Diego or New York Comic Con or whatever, or even like the smaller conventions and just talk with my friends and my peers. And usually to compensate for that, I just kind of talk with everyone a lot online. But yeah, and I think one of like not exactly the biggest challenge, but like one of the things that surprised me the most in communicating with people from the US or like from the Western Hemisphere is how casual and friendly all of you are. Like that definitely surprised me a bit because here in Indonesia, especially within like a professional context, everyone is like very formal and serious unless you're talking with people your own age, like with Gen Z. uh in here everyone is very serious, very formal. There are like lots of honorifics. You have to be like really polite, and I didn't really experience that with communicating with you guys because again everyone is like so friendly. And it's like in my opinion there really isn't also like much of a difference in how you speak to people depending on like their age or their seniority. So for me that was like a welcome change in how I communicate with people.
Yeah, I imagine there must be some pretty big cultural differences like that. So what have you been working on recently? Have you been like keeping busy with or I mean you must have wrapped up work for Bermuda Triangle
Yeah.
already, right?
I did wrap up Bermuda Triangle like around January, I think. So it's all like ready to go to be published and everything. Um, I had one other small project with IDW that will be coming out soon. And aside from that, I have like a few, one or two anthology projects or like short comics coming up with some friends in the indie spaces. And recently, I also, not exactly comics, but recently I also made an art book about my own original characters and stuff. So that was exciting. But yeah, I think that's all I have going
Oh,
on for now. Oh, and I did
And
also like have a pitch for a graphic novel called Meow Rice that I'm pitching around to people right now. So hopefully that gets picked up soon.
oh yeah, yeah, I've seen I've seen you post about that. Do you want to like just tell us a little bit more about that one, or
About Meow Rice?
yeah?
Oh, sure. So it's
Because this is something that like it's is it kind of like a like you had like an older version of the project before, or because I feel like I've seen like you like use the name, or like it was like on your website before maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely had an older version of the project. So the general gist of it is it's basically a story about like this young Chinese Indonesian woman who is like an up and rising film director who is building her career overseas, like say in America. And she finally comes back home upon like the debut of her movie, the debut film. And there's like a lot of complexes around her family and stuff because her parents didn't agree with her career choices, and the only person who supported her was her brother and everything, and she kind of has to like comes to terms with all of those things, lots of like family trauma and disagreements, especially because she kind of dissed her family in her movie. But yeah, and in the older version of the story, which I actually posted on Webtoon, like I posted the first two chapters on Webtoon, it was kind of like, for me, it was kind of all over the place. Like there was gonna be uh, a part one and a part two, in which the part one focused more on like her high school days where she fought a lot with her parents about her career choices and stuff like that. And the part two, which was gonna be like season two, it was gonna be her in present day, like in her adulthood. But after some reviewing, I thought that it was a bit too messy and a bit too long. So I reworked it so it's like a lot shorter now, and I wanted to turn it into a graphic novel, not a webcomic anymore. So now it definitely focuses more on her in her adulthood with some flashbacks to her youth. But yeah.
Nice.
how's
Was go ahead, Naman.
yeah, how does Webtoon work? Is a Webtoon a good platform for the creators?
I posted mine on Webtoon Canvas, and back when I posted it, it was quite okay. Like it was very straightforward and easy to use. Uh, but if you're on Canvas, since it's like anyone can post there, you really have to handle all the obviously all the promotional work, all the marketing and stuff like that to get eyes on your work because Webtoon isn't gonna do that for you unless you're a Webtoon originals. But it was quite okay, really.
Yeah. So was that like one of the first like big projects you like tackled initially, like the first version of Meow Rice?
Yeah, it was a pretty big project at that time, but it how do I say this? It's like it's a big project to me personally, but like back then I knew there wasn't any like funding or anything at that time, so I kind of had to push it into the back burner a lot of times to make space for other paid projects. So it took like a really long time to actually develop it.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. 'Cause I feel like, especially like you know, our earlier projects were kind of just like learning as we go, and like
Mm.
putting stuff out there and seeing what works. And a lot of the time, like those initial projects, like don't really like like live up to their full potential,
Mm.
like partially because they're like a learning experience. But I think because of that, it's cool that like you gained your experience from it, and then you did these other projects as well, and now you're kind of like reinvesting that experience and skill that you've developed like back into Meow Rice. So it's kind of
Mm.
like coming full circle in a way.
Yeah.
What does the title mean?
Okay, so the title is taken from this traditional Indonesian dish. It's called nasi kucing, which, if you translate it into English literally, it would mean cat rice. There isn't an actual cat in the dish. It's like it's the actual dish. It's like it's rice and it's like wrapped in banana leaves, and you have like various toppings on top of it. Like some people would have like fish and vegetables and I think peanuts and all that. But specifically for this story, it's about a dish with the same name that is, let's say, it's like a different version that only like my family makes. So there's like some realism in this story because a lot of it is like taken from my own experiences and my own like family dynamics. In my family, we have this dish where there's like a bunch of rice. We put it on like a large tray, a large plate, and we'd like fry. Yeah, I think we fry some fish and just kind of mix it all together by hand with some sweet soy sauce. And then we eat it all together. Like we just turn it into like bite-sized clumps and all of us would like sit together and eat together like that. And
We have one of those things. We have what we call a hot dog. So we put no dog into our hot dog. Okay, so
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
that sounds delicious. I haven't had dinner yet, so I feel like I'm gonna get hungry talking about this.
but yeah,
Um,
so that's what it was referencing. And the significance to the story is that Mia Rice in general, it's like it's about love, right? Like the story is about love and how love and its manifestations can be so different for each person, even like for people within like the same family, the same community, stuff can manifest so differently. And sometimes the way you show your loves, the way it manifests into reality, it may not be the way that you hope it would be, and people may not understand it. So I guess that's what the dish itself signifies, like in here, because they have like a different version of the traditional dish that people may not understand, because like why would you have this dish, why would you name it the same, like it's not the traditional dish, kind of like that, like with love, like why would you love me like this is not how other people show their love and stuff like that. That's what it symbolizes.
yeah, no, it sounds like it all ties together very very well. And how long is like roughly how long is the graphic novel intended to be?
I'm intending it to be like around 150 pages ish.
Yeah, that sounds like a good length, but also it's like a hefty undertaking. Because um, is Bermuda Triangle like the biggest project you've done so
Yeah,
far?
it's definitely the biggest project I've done so far. I
And
have
that's
never done any this length.
four issues, right? Or
It's five.
five
Five
issues.
issues.
So
Yeah.
it's about 100 pages total, or
Yeah, it's 100. Yeah, each issue has 20 pages, so it's right at the 100
a
mark.
clean 100
Yeah.
pages. Yeah, no, I feel like even like one of your pages like clearly has like so much effort put into it. So yeah, like just thinking of like what 100, Eileen pages is kind of overwhelming to think about.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm like so
Yeah,
thankful that with Bermuda I had help with the colors, because if I had to do all the colors on my own, I would probably like die.
yeah, you would still be working on it to
Yeah.
this day. But I mean, what was it like tackling like a project of like that, like size and scope for the first time?
It was definitely a whole new experience because I think for the first time I had like it was like a very big project and I had a very hard deadline, right? And it's like with a
Right.
big publisher too. So there was also like a lot of anxiety for me personally to be like, okay, I have to impress them. I have to like be good at this. Like I can't have them think badly of me. So I worked like extremely hard. There were a lot of like late nights and everything. But it was definitely a learning experience. Like I think I came out of it a new person with like a
Oh,
whole new
wow.
skill set. I feel that way. Like sometimes when I look back at the things that I worked on during Bumuda, there were some parts, especially in like issue 1 and issue 2, where I was like, oh man, like I think I did quite badly on these. Like maybe it's not my best work, especially if you compare it to like issue 5 later on. But yeah, I guess it just kind of signifies my growth throughout it all, throughout
Yeah, it's
the
exciting that
many
you can
months
see
I worked on it.
your growth over the course of the series.
Mm,
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like the like in a way it's like the pro and con of like improving quickly like
yeah.
during one project, but it obviously it's still a good thing overall. um
OJT on the job training. Best way to learn.
are there any are there any like you said you like came out with a new skill set, like is there anything like specific you feel that you like particular like any particular new skills, or is it just kind of like an overall leveling up of your abilities?
I think definitely it's more of an overall leveling up, and I gained new skills as in like what kind of shortcuts to take
Nice, nice.
to
Yeah,
make
that's what
myself
it's all
work
about.
faster. Yeah. And I think I learned early on that like some of the shortcuts that I already knew before I started the project, like it didn't quite apply when I have to work on so many interior pages like this. Like yeah, I did stuff quickly, but the end results may not always look good. So I had to like learn a bit more about what other things I can do to still work quickly, but have the results be like 10 times better than I was before.
Yeah, that's really fascinating because I think like it seems to me like efficiency and like being able to like work like quickly and like keeping your stamina up is like such a hugely important part of doing sequential art in interior pages, right? Like from like more of like an outsider perspective, like me who like is not like working on the art directly, and like probably other people who are even like more far removed from the process. It's easy to think that like that the only that the most important thing is like making like the page like look good, and like
Mm.
obviously that is important, but there's always the balance of like because it's up to you to determine like how much time you spend on each page, right? So it's like on any given page you could probably like improve it if you like spent more time on it, but like you have to find the balance between like getting 100 pages done and and making sure they look good at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had a question from Otaku as well. I think he asked what some of your manga influences are.
Ooh, okay. Truth to be told, I didn't read manga until I was like in my 20s, I think. Before that, I was actually kind of a manga hater.
A hater.
Especially in my youth, yeah.
I was gonna say there's like no shame in like just discovering like not reading until later, but a hater,
Oh
I'm
my god, no.
curious.
In when I was like way younger, I used to be like such a hater because I think back then, instead of like superhero comics, it was manga and anime that was so popular within like the younger generation, within my own generation. And I was one of those who was like, oh, I'm not like other people.
Oh, it's too mainstream.
Yeah, it's like it's too mainstream. Why are you guys so cringe? So yeah, I was a hater. But then I
Wait,
kind of had to like eat my own words because now I'm a huge fan. But
So
recently, what? Yeah,
you were a superhero fan before manga fan?
yeah, I was a superhero fan before a manga fan.
Oh, let me take this off right now. I mean, I just noticed. First thing I noticed was we had a Green Lantern back there.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay, cool. Well, most of us here are superhero fans,
Yeah.
but I actually love manga myself.
Mm.
But in this community, we are a lot of superhero fans. But I welcome manga fan as well. But we understand you. We understand. It's a little bit difficult to go to manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like it was kind of like the other way around for me, which I guess sounds like it was more of the standard pathway for like I don't know, like young people in Indonesia. But I definitely I grew up more with like manga and anime.
Mm.
And then like for me, like I didn't really get that much into reading Western comics until like only like 3 or 4 years ago, actually. Like I was always like I liked watching the MCU movies and stuff and I like superheroes. But I didn't like actually like read comics that much. And I think part of it, like I wasn't like I wouldn't say I was a hater, but like I definitely was like you know when people say like, oh, you know, like manga you just read like chapter one and then chapter two, but with comics it's like Batman number
Oh
460 and it's
yeah.
like very confusing. Like I definitely felt intimidated by that because it was like harder to like find my entry point. But once I started, I just like fell into the black hole and or the rabbit hole. And like sometimes I still feel like intimidated because there's like so many like comic book fans have been like lifelong fans, you know, and they like have been like reading everything for like 20 to like 40 years or more. And I feel like I'm like perpetually such a newbie. Um, but I don't know. I try to just, you know, like catch up as much as I can.
No, yeah, I get you. That's how I am with manga right now. Like I'm trying to like read everything that I can and everything that may interest me at the moment because I have so many catching up to do. But to answer, I think it was Otaku's question. Recently, my biggest manga influence has been Yuto Sano from his work was Gokurakugai. I think, yeah, the title. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Gokurakugai. I really like that art, and I've definitely been trying to like incorporate some of his art style into my own.
I'm trying to I don't think I've seen this
It's
series
a
before.
pretty new manga. Like I think it was only like the past few years, and the story hasn't like progressed as quickly as other mangas because um the updates come like once a month, not
Oh,
like
is it? Yeah,
weekly like
it's a
other mangas.
monthly series.
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's give it Ron ask this, and why are you showing that? I want to show this one.
Ooh, who influenced your desire to do art? uh, the person who influenced me to do art was, well, it was definitely no one from my own personal life, I think, because in my family or in my group of friends, there weren't anyone else who actually like seriously pursued art, especially when I was younger. But if I had to like name a person, I think it would be Jim Lee because I grew up with um specifically Batman Hush Volume 2. It has to be like volume 2 because I had no other
Volume two.
volumes at that time. I had no other volumes at that time and I had no idea where to read the rest. But it was like
Okay.
specifically that volume that I had. And I held it like so close to my heart. And I loved his art so much. And I think reading that definitely made me like want to really pursue art. Like I wanted to be him.
I could see now that Otaku is gonna bust in here now. That
Yeah, he's a big Jim Lee fan as well. So he said, I think he said he couldn't make it, but like I think he's about to find some time.
But by the way, just wanted to let people know that this has a little instruction on how she makes a background out. That background is beautiful where you done that. So
Thank you. Yeah, some people were asking me about it, so I figured I'd make a tutorial. I don't make tutorials very often.
but
Very
yeah,
very
when
good
I saw that,
very good use of meme imagery
Yeah.
in this.
I was like trying to appeal to the younger generations with like short attention spans.
well, thanks for including me as a younger generation.
Yeah, I know you also have the like the other Instagram account and you said you have like the art book for your like original characters. Is that like what the Spirit World account is, or are those
Yes.
separate?
Wait, I actually have it right here.
Oh.
Yes, that is what the Spirit World account is. So
Can
I
you see that again,
started.
please?
So it's like, wait, let me just. Yay!
No.
It's an OC art book of like every single one of my original characters so far. But yeah,
You
I
have a shop?
definitely start. What?
You have a shop? Online shop?
I only have a local Indonesian shop right now. I'm planning to like upload the PDF to Gumroad so people can buy the ebook at some point. But yeah.
But we can show the Instagram account for this if you want to put the screen back up, NammaN. Eileen has a separate like
Oh, yeah.
Instagram account for her Spirit World stuff.
The Instagram handle is from Spirit World.
From the Spirit World?
From Spirit World without the "the."
Okay. Let me see. Let me see if I could do this. FROMSPIRITWRLD, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep, that's the one. Okay.
Well,
There isn't a lot of posts there yet, but I definitely started Spirit World because I wanted to have a space for like all of my original characters to kind of live in, because I'm the kind of person who has like so many characters and so many story ideas, but so far there isn't really time to like develop all of them fully. So this is just kind of like a space for me to kind of archive them and let them breathe a bit. And that's kind of what this book is also about. Like I kind of delve into like each story, each character, and where the ideas for each of them came from, my inspirations, like my own background about it. And
Like,
that's what
do you see them as existing in like your like a shared universe of their own, or are they kind of like separate?
Each of them kind of has their own separate universes, but I suppose that's kind of where Spirit World comes in, because there's actually like a bit of philosophy around the name. I'm gonna explain. So, Spirit World in Chinese is Ling Jie, right? Like, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. My tones are always bad, but it's like Ling Jie, Ling meaning spirit and Jie meaning world. And my Chinese name is Eileen. So, in a way, I kind of thought about it as like, this is Lean's world. This is like my world. So that's where all of these characters like live in for now. And the way I kind of like visualize it in my head is like, if this is like a whole big universe, there are like separate worlds or planets.
It's like your
stories.
It's like your multiverse.
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
exactly. It's kind of my own multiverse.
No wonder she looks like you. No wonder she looks like you.
This is actually my main character from Meow Rice. She was definitely a bit inspired by my own self.
I mean, I think all of like whenever anyone makes an OC, like they have to have like some amount of you that you put into them, right?
Yeah.
Or like some people say like, every character you make is just like you're like taking like a different like facet of yourself and turning them into their own character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I mean I think just the idea of like making a book of your OCs is like kind of like inspirational to me. Like Um, like I didn't really pursue art after I was little kid, but when I was a kid, like I made like I would draw like hundreds of like OCs, and I like they all had their like names and lore and all that. So like just the idea of like compiling them in a book, I feel like that would have been like my childhood self's dream.
I,
Like
I
that should
actually love this sketch. I love this sketch.
Oh, thank you. I also love that sketch. Those are the characters from Meow Rise again. That's the girl is the main character, Davina, and the guy is her brother, Noah. But yeah, the story is definitely centered around them and their complicated relationship with each other and their parents and their current families. So I hope I kind of got the angst across from that sketch.
Yeah, it was. It looked very affectionate. Yeah, love that one. Oops, there's more in here. Ah,
I want to go back to manga for a second
Oh,
because
sure.
so what was I'm curious, like was there like a specific like were there some specific series that like helped to bring about the end of your hater era, or like did something else shift to make you like give more manga and anime a chance?
Uh, I think I definitely kind of matured during like uh high school because back when I was in my manga hater era, it wasn't just manga and anime that I hated, but I also hated like K-pop. So it was like three things: K-pop, manga, and anime.
Like
And
the
I
three
hated like
like
with
pillars
passion.
of
wow.
Yeah, but then like when I was in high school, I think back then it was when K-pop like BTS was on the rise, and my friend was like a huge BTS fan, and she got me into K-pop for some reason or the other. And I think that particular moment like really shifted my mindset for me, and I was like, okay, yeah, I was like so immature for hating these things. Like I shouldn't be hating like that. And so I guess it started from K-pop, and
so,
then
so K-pop unlocked the others. That's so
yeah,
fascinating.
it like started from K-pop, and then it slowly like expanded into also like okay, I think anime is also quite okay. It's not that bad, and then from anime it expanded further into manga.
Wait.
Nice.
You didn't like an anime too? Like what was it? Spirit World itself? The Spirit World? What's the anime where the girl goes to this? What her parents goes to this?
Spirited Away.
Oh, Spirited Away,
Spirit
Ghibli.
Away. How can you not like that? How can you not like that? How could you
To
hate
be
that one?
fair, I didn't watch any Ghibli movies until I
Oh,
was also in my 20s. Like I feel
oh
like I
my
started lots
goodness!
of things in my 20s.
I mean, I watched that when it first came out, and I mean, I go, wow, that's oh, no one can hate that. But I'm glad you turned from the evil side.
Yeah,
The evil side.
I've definitely come around now.
Um, that's- yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I love comic books, but I love manga and anime and manhwa. Actually, I like all kind of
Yeah, no, I
of
think like all the different like genres of storytelling, like not only like are they like not only do they all have a lot of good stuff, but I think also every medium they have like a lot of like unique strengths that they play to,
Mhm.
so that if anyone, because I think like now like even now there are too many people like just like there's a needless like divide between like Western book readers and and manga anime fans sometimes. And it's one of those things where like there's just like so much media that exists that like I think if you like if anyone doesn't have like the bandwidth to like get into a whole new medium, that's like totally understandable. But like there's like a lot of people who like they feel like they have like put down like like the one that they're not engaging with, like like teen Eileen might have, right? And it's like I feel like a lot of people are just like missing out, by not like trying to like broaden their horizons a bit more.
I mean,
Totally.
it's just a storytelling medium. Story is the most important part. So, and it's like a speaking different language, right?
Mm.
Speaking different language, and yeah, drawing is like speaking different language. And the more you could incorporate strength from each of the language. Each language has strength and weakness. But yeah. Anyway, that's my thought.
So I know I mean you're interested in writing as well, right? I guess like you have to be because like if you're doing your own graphic novel, it's like you're like a one man show for a
Yeah.
lot of these projects. But like I mean, do you like I don't know what I'm even trying to ask here. Like do you like try to like do you feel like it's like a interest and skill that you're like kind of like trying to like hone like separately, or like is it all like just like one like comic creating package for you? Like do you like I guess what I'm trying to ask is like is it something that like you feel like you're like kind of interested in like the writing side of things? Like would you be interested on that like on its own, or like for you is it more of just like part like something you like kind of like have to do, like or like not like a necessary component of like creating your own comics?
Okay. Um, I think for me, as it is right now, it feels kind of like a package in a way. Uh, the way I see it is if I'm gonna be writing my own stories, there's like a very specific way that I want it to look or how I want it to be delivered that I don't think at this point in time I would want to be like a solo writer and have anyone else doing the art because I'd have like a very specific way and a very specific visualization of how I want it to be. And also, in a way, I don't think um, I'm at the stage yet where my writing is like strong enough to stand on its own because I spent so long like honing my art skills, my interior and sequential skills, but not so much for my writing. So I feel like if I was able to write and draw on my own as like a package, even if I fall short on the writing, my art could still carry me, if that makes sense. But like if I'm only like doing writing as like a separate thing, I feel like it will be like all my flaws kind of on the spotlight like that.
No, I totally get that. As a writer, I'm also thinking like sometimes it's like, like I like even I think like, my writing for this is like a little bit questionable, but like maybe the art will carry me.
I have a question
uh,
for both of you guys.
Mm.
You when for instance, for instance, the the your story, Alan, is that classified as manga or is that classified as comic book?
for I mean, you mean Shantu,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah, it's Gen 2.
so the line can be blurry, like in some cases. I think Shantu I would definitely classify as more of a Western comic. Like there are obvious, like Eastern culture manga influences there, but I mean it reads left to right, and um I don't know, like a lot of it comes down to just like what the creator like intends for the work to be classified as, I suppose. Some people debate whether or not you can like make manga if you're not Japanese or making it for a Japanese audience. But I think like for me, it comes down to like, the creator. If they say they're making it like a comic, or if they say they're making a manga, then like I would like respect that.
Well, I mean, so I'm asking you writers, right? You potential writers in both of you. I mean, uh, would it be different? Your story be different if it went on to manga or Western comic book? I mean, is this going to be a manga or is this going to be a Western comic book?
I think it would be different, and it should be probably. But it's also there's such a spectrum of it all. Like I think you could make a comic like exactly as you would normally, except you like make it read right to left, and I guess like make it black and white. Like it would be a manga. Like you could consider it a manga, but you can also lean more into like like the Japanese cultural like even like the way like the page flows, and like the cultural like considerations that go into like the setting in the story. So you can like lean more into that to make it like more have more manga feel. um so yeah, I think it's a question of like how much like you want to lean into that like authenticity of the medium. What do you think, Eileen?
Yeah, definitely. And I think like depending on how you intend it to be, there are definitely like cultural and systemic differences between the mediums, like between Western comics and manga and even like manhwa. There are so many things at play there, and especially if you work within like with a publisher, with a platform where you have editors and stuff, they would definitely have their own like specific requirements, and I feel
Wow.
like that would definitely change some stuff in how you would present your story.
Huh. Here's my question for you guys again. But going from one to another, yeah, there's gonna be difference, but it's not gonna be like taking a story, a a novel story, and taking it to a movie. It won't be that much of a dramatic change in medium, is it? I mean, I could see that. Oh yeah, it's gonna be not color, black and white, going from left to right or right to left. But is it? I mean, I could see that you need to change how they flow. But is it really that much difference? It's not like dramatic change. You have to change everything out for. I mean, movie and novel has to be different, right? Quite because you're condensing huge novel into a 2 hour, 1.5 hour format. But you're not condensing any stories because it went from one to another. Just the flow, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, there are those differences between Western comics and manga, like, but in terms of being, arguably different mediums, they're like probably as closely related as like two different mediums could be, right? So, yeah, definitely not as drastic as of a leap as there might be between other adaptations.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you can kind of also see it from like um the translations. Like if you the publishers would translate like manga for Western audiences, or the manhwas webtoons and turn it into English. Like you can already see there's some differences in like the phrasing, the terminology, and sometimes they'd have like to cut some scenes or add some scenes, stuff like that. But it doesn't really affect the overall story at all. Yeah, just like you said, it's like the flow, the pacing, and probably like just some words that would need to be adjusted. So not that big of a difference, really.
Yeah, this is kind of a tangent, but like manga and anime like translation and localization, it like blows my mind a lot of the time, because like obviously like I can't consume like I'm not fluent in Japanese, so I can't consume like the original material. But like in reading the translations, and what, and even reading the subtitles on anime, there's like like, you know, there's like often characters who are like they speak with like, you know, like a British accent or something like that, and that's something that like feels like so like it's such a core part of like how we perceive that character, but it's also obviously something that doesn't exist in like the Japanese version of that character, right? So sometimes like when you read about how you know, in the translation or localization they give like this character like British accent or like French mannerisms, or like they like speak like with a lot of like street lingo, it's like it actually takes so much creativity and consideration to translate and localize those things in a way that's like completely different from the original version, but like it like conveys like the same feeling kind of. I just think it's really impressive.
Yeah. Cool.
um yeah, I mean we're getting closer to, you know, the 1 hour mark now, so I don't want to keep you too long, Eileen, but do have a couple more questions. And one of them, I think you touched on this a little bit when I was just asking about your own experiences, but like for other, you know, like international like comic book artists and creators who are trying to like kind of like, you know, gain some visibility or like break into like the Western like comic space, do you have like any you know, advice that you can offer based on your journey?
Oh, totally. I have so many things I want to say. And I actually did say it a couple of times because I also like, I have like a coaching thing where I help other Indonesian artists try to gain visibility internationally. And the thing I always say is like, don't be afraid to, I guess, post your art online and actually like call out for attention. Like you have to be a little bit attention seeking in order to like survive here, because our status as like foreigners, we don't have the privilege or the accessibility to, you know, be there in conventions or go to like workshops or networking events like other people who live in the States. So we have to make do in some other ways. And the one way that I have found to be quite foolproof is to be attention seeking online. Like don't be afraid to like tag your favorite creators, tag your favorite publishers and stuff like that, and actually like ask them to hire you, because sometimes it actually works. Like you never know what would happen, right? Like you just have to like take the leap of faith and don't be afraid to start, because I've seen lots of like newbie creators, foreigners who are so afraid to try or to be seen trying, and because of that fear they don't step forward at all. And like you can't do that. You have to step forward even if like there's a risk of failing. So that's what I always say to them.
Yeah, that's so important. And I mean, like, and it's also like very understandable, I guess, to like feel that, you know, that trepidation, nervousness is about putting yourself out there. Cause like I think like especially like, you know, like both like uh creative types and like in Asian culture, like we kind of had this feeling we're not supposed to like be like too loud or like ask for
Mm.
too much attention. But yeah, it is so important to, you know, put yourself out there like that. And I know that that's something that I definitely need to like, I need to take your advice more.
Let me show you something. Okay, guys. Let me see if I can show this, explore this up. Oops, not this side, not that side, this side. Can you guys read it? There it is.
But
I hope they bring Cornell at some point. The DC is in good hands. With that being said, if a DC editor sees this, hi, hello, I love to do some DC covers. Big fan.
yeah, Eileen practicing what she preaches.
Yeah, I do that like so many times. Like I think with my Zatanna piece, I also did that like on Twitter and stuff. Like I kept on saying like, "Hey, somebody, please get me on like a Zatanna book." And
Yeah, that
even with
one.
yeah, and even with like Monster High, like how I got into Monster High and how IDW got to see me was because back then the editor was like looking for artists, and I replied to her saying like, "Hey, this is my portfolio. I'd love to work on this someday." And she did, even though it took like around 2 years, I think, for her to actually like get back to me seriously for a job, but it actually worked. So
Yeah,
there's like,
and
yeah.
you can directly see like it was like you putting yourself out there and engaging that like led to getting work on these big
Mm,
projects. So it's kind of proof that like what you say works, right? Like it
yeah,
like
Wow,
directly leads to that stuff.
that's some slow bum fishing. That's like 2 years.
exactly. Like I didn't even know if I was gonna get it. I wasn't even thinking about it anymore. And suddenly like the email just showed up like, oh wow, like you really reap what you sow. This is so nice. What comes around comes around.
Yeah. Everything like everything takes a long time to happen.
Mm,
So like you just have to like I think the hardest part of any of this, whether like you're like writing or doing art, it's those like years where you're like putting in that initial effort to like, hone your craft and get noticed without like really getting like any like you're not getting like any results at the beginning,
yeah.
right? So I feel like that's because if you can just get to the point where you're like getting like a little bit of something, then like I feel like it's like easier to find the motivation to keep going because like you naturally get encouraged. But at the beginning, in a way, that's when it's the hardest because you have to like you just have to keep pushing on.
Yeah, totally. Like you just have to self-motivate and keep on moving forward regardless of how it's turning out at the moment because you
Yeah,
never know with
you
art.
Yeah, you have to find whatever force motivates you. Like you said, like it was like pettiness with
Yeah.
the art school. Like I think you need to like channel both like pettiness and like the positive like motivation.
Mm.
Just like anything you can like wield and manipulate to like get stuff done.
Sometimes you
Um,
gotta, you know, uh, blow your own hoots, the tones, or whatever you call that. Never mind.
yeah, yeah. Toot your own horn is that what
Mm.
you were gonna say? Yeah. So you said you have another IDW project coming out. Like, has that not been announced yet? Or
Not yet. It's kind of it's like for another book, not Monster High this time, but my role in there is like quite small. I'm not
okay,
like the interior artist or anything, so it's pretty
right?
small. But it's still exciting anyways. It should be like announced sometime soon, definitely in the next few months, I think. But yeah, so like keep a lookout for it, and I'll definitely also post it online once that comes out.
Yeah, and I'll look forward to that for sure. So other than that, I mean, because I know you do like conventions and events in Indonesia as well. Do you have like any lined up in the next like couple months that you'll be at?
Mm, no, not really. I just kind of finished like the last one that was
Oh,
very
okay.
taxing. So I kind of want to take like the next
Yeah,
few
take
months
a
just
break.
to rest. Yeah, this is like my recuperation period.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will be a well earned recuperation. Cool. Well, we'll definitely put your social media links and
Mm.
everything in like the video description so that everyone can find you and follow you and look forward to, your upcoming announcements. And yeah, like other than that, like do you have any like other things you might want to like shout out or any like final words of wisdom to leave audiences with?
Um, I guess final words of wisdom. Definitely don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to move forward and post your art. And also, uh, if I may, please, editors, if you see this, I have a pitch ready.
Yes, yes.
I have a pitch
That's
ready
what
from
I'm here
Yarais
for.
whenever you are. I'm ready to send it out whenever.
Yeah, no, that's like always be pitching.
All right.
All right. Well, yeah,
That was
thank you.
fantastic talk, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, Chad, thanks for participating. And appreciate the rewind. Push this along so you'll go out into the big ocean out there. So, yeah. All right. Are we
Yeah,
ready to say goodbye?
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
yeah,
Have a
thanks
good
everyone
night
for watching. All right.
or morning for you.
Thank you.